What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the strip. Welcome to the shop. Welcome to the app. Coffee Talk app. It's your boy, Big Dean. And y'all know, there's some shit to discuss. There's always some shit to discuss. And what's funny is, it's always really some positive shit to discuss. But y'all don't want to talk about the positive stuff. It ain't exciting to you. So let's get it going. Shout out to T3 Polar Bear. Shout out to Mr. Skinny. Shout out to Cooling with the Crew. You already know what it is. Shout out to Wax Dog. Shout out to Tazo TV. Shout out to You Dude. Shout out to Hold It Least. Shout out to Abubba Clothing. You already know. We got to give a shout out to all my people with this good merch. Again, who else? Shout out to Jacques Slade. Oh man, it's a lot, man. It's a lot of them. Shout out to Siriato for that customizing you got going on. Keep it going. It's a lot, man. So you know how I do. They might spill out while I'm talking or whatever, you know, because certain people spark certain angles in the conversations. So that's how it go. But y'all know how you ever sit back right and well, I'll be. Y'all know what that is? Wow. Y'all know the sound. That's the sound of the lighter's gone. Let me just work my magic one time. Well, anyway. So, just hold on 1 second. I said 1 second. So, anyway, what I was saying. Yeah, so everything that you hear is not necessarily worth listening to. And I say that because I see how easily, and then in a lot of cases, how voluntarily we move astray. Or we allow ourselves to be moved astray. 1 second. So, with allowing ourselves to be moved astray, what we have here is we'll turn on the television, the computer, or whatever it is that you're using to bring in media, or you know what I mean, information, entertainment, whatever it is that you're using as that vessel to bring that in. Just because you're tickled by it, interested in it, or captivated by it, is don't necessarily mean that it's worth you listening to. See, there's a lot of things that become distractory. And we see it a lot, but we tend to go along with it. As for instance, here we go. We'll sit and say that the music out now is so destructive and it's bad and it's negative. But that's the music in our playlist. We'll say that television is shitty and the shows are crappy and the actors is ugly, and we'll say all type of things. But you guys are synchronized to those shows. That is a sickness, so to speak, when you think about it. Because you're finding an interest in something that's meant to be destructive to your mentality and your brain and the decisions you make and the choices, you know, but you find a attraction to it. Like on YouTube and all these little small sectors that, you know, people call themselves having whole sections of YouTube, and I don't, you know how that go. But and you'll see that you'll find yourself watching the shit that is not necessarily worth listening to. Even even on the intellectual level though, you'll find a lecture or two or a documentary, and it's not worth listening to. Just because you're hearing something don't mean that it's worth you listening to it. Scale that down to your everyday. You get up to go to work. A lot of people like to turn on like those little shows that come on the radio in the morning show things. Just because it's on and it's loud and vibrant sounding to you, don't mean that it's worth listening to. See, your decisions and all of that stuff throughout the day is affected by the value you've given the things that you've listened to or that you've heard and weighed in mentally on some of these ideas and some of these things that you've heard throughout the day, and you don't know that that's what's going on. Those who do know and are aware of these situations and tend to ignore it. See, we like to tell people that it's cool to be told or to be looked at as an intellect or a scholar or a person of higher learning, but it's also a bad side to the situation. Because once you learn something, you can't unlearn it, and you still have to continue to operate in an environment where 90% of what's moving around is not aware or practicing the things that need to be practiced and the things that need to be aware of. So you're alienated. You bump into like people every once in a while. All the trickle effect of what people hear, they tend to want to pause and listen to. Not knowing that just because you're hearing something don't mean that it's worth the mental space or time to listen to it. See, when you're growing a channel like on YouTube, the time you have to spend growing those relationships and sitting in chats and, you know, going on people's panels and stuff like that, you'll run into some panels and some groups and some whatever they call them that they'll be talking, but it's not worth listening to. And that becomes a scapegoat for us because now it's an excuse to not become. So now you've developed an ability to recognize your faults and an even greater ability to not correct them. You got to understand and know when everything you hear is not necessarily worth you listening to. When they say you are what you eat, that's on a lot of levels because you're eating a lot of different things. So your brain is eating information. Your gut is eating food. You understand that? So there's a lot of systems eating things, so you have to read through some of the riddles and shit that's going on, and then apply them in other areas as well, because you'll find where some of these things are just misplaced and they're better applicable in other areas, and they lend a stronger foundation for whatever you're trying to do right there. So y'all know how it go. I just wanted to rap with y'all right quick about that. That had been on my mind for a few hours. So like, comment, share. Really comment, because this is something I really want to hear some feedback on. If you checking this video out, go down there, check out another video. Also, go down into the descriptions, man. Why do y'all not go into people's descriptions? Y'all want to comment and then don't be knowing the mindset or the psychology of the person because you haven't read the description as the person describes the video that you're about to watch. You know how it is. Coffee Talk Ave, Big Ding.